I'm Marcin Masecki here, this is Pieniążek, Eldar Tsalikov. We are a new trio dedicated to the music of Thelonious Monk. We just met for the first time in the studio 2 days ago, and we present to you our new vision of Thelonious Monk's legacy. Each one, we have a relationship with each one, but the first time that we met in the studio was just 2 days ago. So Jan I met 5 years ago during workshops that I've been doing in a beautiful castle in the south of Poland, and we immediately fell in love. And Eldar Tsalikov I met roughly around the same time in Berlin. I moved to Berlin from Warsaw, and when we met, we fell in love immediately. It's quite a daring format, let's say, to meet in the studio without rehearsing. I consciously made this way, to meet in the studio without rehearsing and to record an album. But I had super trust in these guys, and I had an intuition that it would work. And I took the risk, and we took the risk, all of it, and it yielded nice results.
Frankly, wasn't aware of Marcin's work yet. And then we met actually in Berlin on more easy sort of occasion, being at the same concert, and we met and we had a beer and had a talk, and I already had a certain impression personally of him, of Marcin. Really, really nice and really cool human being.
We met once in this configuration. We played in Lublin in the east of Poland. We played a gig devoted to, it was a special project devoted to songs from a movie from the Second World War from Poland, very specific project and one-time thing. So we did meet once on stage, yeah, but that was like an isolated event.
We met like 5 years ago, and the workshops were recommended to me by my godfather, actually, who helped make it happen. And he said like, yeah, this year there's gonna be jazz workshops apart from like acting workshops and classical music workshops. You should come. There's gonna be this amazing piano player, Marcin Masecki, and I didn't know anything about Marcin, and I listened to some of his stuff, and I was like, okay, this is some weird stuff. I've never listened to like this kind of music before. Like, I don't know, I'm not sure if I wanna go. But then I got convinced, and we met, and we fell in love.
Yeah, I have a larger ensemble devoted to jazz band Młynarski Masecki, which I co-lead with Jan Młynarski on voice, and we play popular music from Poland from the 20s and 30s, and Jan stepped in to substitute for a drummer several times. For the last 10 years, let's say, the way I've been working on projects has been, I had a very crystal idea in my mind how it should sound, and I would choose musicians who I knew could do that precisely. And this is the first time in quite a while, so I used, let's say, session musicians. And this is the first time in quite a while that I thought of choosing artists that have their own voice. So the classic jazz thing, actually. Choosing people who have something interesting to say, who are themselves are an artistic entity, and just colliding in the studio, colliding creatively in the studio. The whole umbrella that unites us here, so the music of Thelonious Monk. Monk is of course one of the giants of jazz, one of the pillars and gods of jazz, and I as a pianist was super drawn to him since a very early age and huge influence. But I never really thought seriously of playing his music, since it's so, let's say, it's kind of the canon of jazz, and it has been played a lot, but on the other hand, a huge respect for Monk's own approach to music and Monk's own style. Recently, I've been invited to participate in the premiere of a new book about Thelonious Monk, and I was reminded, and I played a few songs on the premiere of the book, and I was kind of incentivized by that. And at the same time that this was happening, I was meeting these guys, and it all just fell into one perfect spot. And the last element of this puzzle is Tamas Bognar from BMC, who has been a long-time partner, who has been calling and saying, Marcin, what are you gonna do next? What are you gonna do next? What are you gonna do next? And these things all met here. there's a special quality in the music of Monk which is summed up. I mean, it's a broad subject, but one of it is summed up in the title of one of his compositions that he's played, which is Ugly Beauty. And this was a revolution for me when I started to listen to Monk when I was 12. That you can get a powerful emotional message through ugly playing. This is in big quotes, but I was studying classical music, European classical music, and the approach of Monk to instrument was taboo, and everybody was, I was surrounded by opinions that this guy can't play, basically, still 70 years after his revolution, 80 years. So the music is ugly and weird and strange and beautiful and deep, and these are super potent areas for me, personally very important. And if you try and if you give it all your heart and thought, you can find places to be yourself in this music as well. It's not so obvious, it's not like in other jazz standards that you just that lend themselves easier. But if you invest in it and if you dive in head first, then you can find these places. And when you find them, it sounds good.
For me, like jazz standards are, I wasn't really that much into listening, studying jazz standards. And then when I came to jam sessions and somebody said, let's play Monk, and I knew, I was like, oh man, this is gonna be weird, I'm not gonna know what I'm doing. But then it always kind of worked out, because this music is like, you can really, I don't know, for me it works like I can access my weird, like musical things that I don't think about like daily and I don't play daily, but I can throw them out there and they might work, and if they don't, it's still like not the worst.